On this Reaction Monday, appreciate Nick Kelly, Martin Newton, also Mike Gittens, all joining the program. Many of you have been chiming in on the text line, 205-834-9450. Is Auburn worthy of an NCAA selection bid? You can go vote on the three-man front Twitter poll question of the day, and right now 87% of our audience say no, they are not worthy of an NCAA tournament bid, but we'll see what happens in Nashville as their first game is coming up this Wednesday against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So we'll see what happens there. Also a big day, Landrum, in the NFL as the free agent frenzy continues.
Yeah, the news earlier, we talked about it throughout the show, that Tua seems to be headed to Atlanta to play for the Falcons. Also, the Titans, according to sources, they've agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with Mitchell Trubisky. Speaking of NFL drafts in the past where fan bases were not extremely excited about who their teams picked. Let's see. Told you about Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell going from the Steelers, I believe.
Yep, to the Bucks.
To the Bucks. You got Michael Pittman moving on from the Colts. Who else have I missed?
I'm
Walker.
trying to remember. Kenneth Walker's going to the Chiefs. Travis Kelce's coming back for another year with the Chiefs.
Travis Etienne is heading to the New Orleans Saints, so he's going back home to
Ooh.
Louisiana. He's leaving the Jacksonville Jags.
Dang, this will be the first time he'll play without Trevor Lawrence in, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the Falcons also signing veteran Nick Folk to a 2-year deal. 20th NFL season.
Great kicker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the biggest news was over the weekend. It wasn't a signing, but it was a trade. The Ravens traded for Max Crosby. So that's big time.
Did you mention Travis Etienne?
Yeah, he did. To the Saints.
Sorry, just rolling through these, seeing the ones that would be notable that our audience would be interested in.
Oh, and Malik Willis. He's going to be the new quarterback of the Dolphins.
And Wan'Dale Robinson, apparently, reaching an agreement with the Titans.
Ooh, that's actually a nice. Okay.
So think about this in regards to Willis. From 2022 and 2023, Willis posted an 11 total QBR. That was 68 out of 69 total quarterbacks. It was bad, really bad. But the 2024 and 25 with the Packers, he posted the best QBR of 62 quarterbacks.
Well, it's almost like you go from the Titans to a team with one of the best head coaches and supporting cast in the NFL, and you get better. I'm not saying he's not going to turn out to be great, but...
So you're saying cooking in your kitchen versus Gordon Ramsay's?
Correct. I think that maybe he had... And, I mean, he was a great player for the Packers when he got to play, but, I mean... It was a great situation for him as well. Dolphins are a rebuild.
It is pretty interesting as well because a couple of the NFL teams' social media, they have posted today reminding people that all of this that we've been talking about, this is coming off of reports from NFL insiders, whether it's Adam Schefter, whether it's Peter Schrager from ESPN, Tom Pelissero, Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. That's where we're getting our information. And those guys are as connected as you can get when it comes to the NFL. But already the Commanders and the Chargers, they have sent out stuff reminding everyone that none of this is official.
Yes, it's all... Yes.
And I guess those two franchises are a little bit upset about all this reporting because it's not official, and then they might be not sabotaging, but maybe torpedoing their attempts to maybe negotiate with some of these people.
So the Commanders would take exception to Amik Robertson on the 2-year deal. I was just trying to see how many of these have been reported for those respective franchises and assuring their fan bases that they're doing things behind the scenes.
I know why the Chargers are mad. Who's their offensive coordinator? Mike McDaniel.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And he wanted to bring Tua to back up Justin Herbert. And now he can't do that. I think I just figured it out.
Okay.
Now you can report because the official, if you're a free agent, you can report it. As long as obviously all the paperwork is in. But all this other type of conversation, especially with those that's on Wednesday when you can officially, let's say, for example, Tua cannot be released until officially on Wednesday. But all these other things, because you became a free agent, you got your deals done, and it goes to the NFL, then you can report it. So
it appears that Lyft Sports Management is the source for a lot of these deals being reported.
And we all know
because
how
they're
this
included
works.
in all caps and tagged in every tweet from Tom Pelissero.
Yeah, because they have their deals. I'm talking about these agencies with the Tom Pelisseros, the Ian Rappaports, the Adam Schefter. I mean, it's good marketing for them.
It's hot and heavy, though, right now coming in. Former Eagles wide receiver, John Dotson.
Where's he going?
Falcons.
Oh, my gosh.
2-year, $15 million deal. Worth up to $17 million if Tua throws him the ball accurately.
Oh, my gosh. This is the organization I have to root for now?
Well, you don't have to.
I know, but it'd be very conflicting in my heart otherwise.
Kairis Tonga, 3-year, $21 million deal, $14 million guaranteed with the Chiefs.
Chiefs are making some big. I mean, they did just trade away their best cornerback last week, but they're making some moves.
Special thanks to David Cantor, one of his agents, for letting the NFL insiders know that news.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
it'll be interesting. There's a lot of options out there, but I guess some of the big names already coming off the board.
Yeah. Major conversation this morning has been what's going on with the Auburn Tiger basketball program. They lose to Alabama, 96-84. And because of the win by Alabama and a lot of carnage around Alabama and around college basketball, Joe Lunardi now has Alabama as a 3 seed in the upcoming selection process. Meanwhile, Auburn's still in, according to Joe Lunardi. Now, our own bracketologist, which is Rocco Miller, Rocco has not had Auburn in the last couple of weeks, and he continues to not have Auburn. He's got about 4 teams in front of Auburn to make the final cut. So when you start looking at that resume, Auburn finds themselves with a 4-12 quad 1 record, 39 in the net rankings, 39 in Ken Palm, which is good. The nation's number 2 overall strength of schedule. Number 1 is Alabama. Number 2 is Auburn. Number 3 is Kansas. That kind of gives you an idea. But you take a look at what has happened down the stretch. They've lost 8 of their last 10, including some questionable losses. Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Now the Oklahoma loss doesn't look as bad because Oklahoma is playing some good basketball towards the end of the season. But you finished 7-11 in conference play. You lost by 28 to Purdue, 29 to Arizona, and 30 to Michigan.
If I told you right now Auburn has to beat Mississippi State, a team that beat them in Starkville a couple of weeks ago, on a neutral floor in Nashville, do you believe that they beat Mississippi State? No, I do not. We can go around the room.
I actually think they'll beat Mississippi State.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and by the way,
well,
that's not based on that's not based on like any specific data.
Yeah.
That's just my gut telling me that they will win against Mississippi State.
Maybe Pearl goes reverse psychology because all the games he said, hey, this is a must win, they've lost. So now you tell them there's no way we're getting in the tournament, and they go out there and relax and probably win the game.
So they tell them, hey, we're in the tournament?
Yeah. Again, he's got to say what he's got to say, but I think Stephen Pearl has been done with his group.
All right, they beat Mississippi State.
Yeah.
But what does that tell you? You just
Nothing.
You just beat their 14th, right? And they finished 14th in the league? No, they're 13th in the league. Sorry. My apologies.
No, it tells me nothing.
No, it tells me nothing. Now, if you beat Mississippi State and then you beat Tennessee, then we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Would you start having that conversation?
Sure.
If they beat Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. But, I mean,
I think right now,
I think Amen's going to be back. I mean,
just based on this team, if you had a 5-on-5 inner squad, I think it ended in a tie.
Wow.
That's how down I am on Auburn basketball right now.
They probably need to beat Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt.
No.
Oh, so you think they need to win all those?
I don't.
I don't either.
I think
two
Mississippi State and Tennessee.
Yeah, you beat Tennessee, you're in.
That's more conceivable for me. Yeah.
But what evidence do we have that any of that is potentially?
Well, yeah, and of course somebody else can go and steal a bid somewhere else, and
then
Auburn gets knocked out regardless, and yeah. But in terms of everything you needed to happening over the weekend,
I tell you, the team they need to watch out for, and I know that I got ridiculed last week when I brought them up to Rocco Miller, is Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Porter Moser.
I mean, Oklahoma, they got South Carolina.
They'll win that one.
Okay, then they got A&M. Does anybody feel confident about Texas A&M?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right, then they got Arkansas. That's problematic, but
no, they can win that one too.
Porter Moser might have saved his job the last month.
They can shoot the three.
The difference between Oklahoma and Auburn is that Oklahoma did not play the incredible non-conference schedule that Auburn played.
And Auburn deserves credit for that.
That's the difference.
They also didn't beat Florida.
Yeah.
Correct.
On the road.
On the road. Correct.
We do have to include on the road.
Yeah, makes it more impressive, no doubt.
I mean, Oklahoma's 4-9 in quad 1 games. 5-5 in quad 2 games.
It's like how we start getting, as we get closer to the tournament, and we're in conference tournaments, this news starts coming out. Fixer in the NCAA basketball point shaving scheme has pled guilty. Just to remind all of you, players, coaches, administrators, fans, they're watching. U.S. Integrity is watching. Yeah, Jalen Smith. That should be fun. How much time do you think he serves? What did Chuck Person get? A couple of years?
Supposed to say, was that like 5 years maybe? 3 years?
He was active in helping fix games in 23 and 24, 24 and 25, placing bets and recruiting players with a promise of big payment in exchange for purposefully underperforming during a game.
Does it say which teams or games by chance? Just out of curiosity.
Does not in this one. But this goes back to January with he and 25 others. Some were former college basketball players. One in particular played at St. Louis. We brought him up, and then played at UAB last year. None of the games in question were when he was at UAB. Ezewiro?
Yes.
Yeah, Bradley Ezewiro, who, by the way, was a really nice kid in the couple of times that I met him and got to visit with him. Yeah, all of that mess. Just interesting, the timing of it all.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
About to have the largest, the biggest handle when it comes to wagering in this country outside the Super Bowl.
I think that, and deservedly so, you can look at the teams that are there at the top, namely Duke and Florida, but this does, with the parity that we have, I think have the chance, minus some of the great Cinderella stories that we've had in tournaments past, one of the most entertaining competitive tournaments we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look, by evidence, we're having a hard time filling out 68 teams.
Yeah, and I brought it up to Martin. That was the general common denominator almost in every article I read this weekend, was folks saying, you are crazy if people want to talk about expanding this tournament, because we are literally talking about an Auburn basketball team that has looked putrid over their last 10 games, but we're having a debate whether they should be in the tournament. And then next year, you're going to potentially add 10 to 12 more teams?
So, yeah, Rocco brought up Seton Hall last week, right, and how awful the resume is. That would be a team we'd be arguing about next year.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing we talk about with the college football playoff. Do you really need to expand? Because there's probably not 12 teams in a year that can win a national championship, but money.
It is.
Money.
It is about money, and as long as TNT and CBS they want to pay that extra money for more first four games and more tournament games, the NCAA they exist because they put on a heck of a show when it comes to the college basketball and women's basketball tournament.
That is one thing that they have consistently gotten right over the years.
Absolutely. And they will continue to do that, and they'll continue to get paid big money for it. And if the networks tell them that you can make X more units of money for these conferences and your teams, you are going to do it. We will continue on in this Reaction Monday, 1-800-239-WJOX.
Well, 19, the Monday edition of Three Man Front. A lot of college basketball, SEC tournament, March Madness talk. AP Top 25 poll. Duke in at number one, a record 150th time. The first time they did it, December 13th of 1965, in the Associated Press poll. They spent more time there than any other basketball program. UCLA, of course, being second, and then Kentucky third. With that new poll, you got the Florida Gators coming in at number 4. The Alabama Crimson Tide in at number 15 in the latest poll, followed by Arkansas out of the SEC at 17, Vandy at 22, and Tennessee at number 25.
Yeah, a little surprised that Tennessee, I guess because Nate Amen's been out there kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. They lost to a ranked team, but I was a little surprised they stayed in there.
If you're a homeowner, listen up. The recent storms that dropped 2 to 3 inch hail, pounding roofs across our area. Shady roofers, they're out there. They're door knocking. Don't trust just anyone. You got to choose Noto Roofing, locally owned, family run, right here in Birmingham. 25 years of experience. You got Matt, you got Sammy. I've known both of those guys for a long time, and they do wonderful work. You can trust these guys and how you're going to be taken care of. As I mentioned, right here in Birmingham, but you can go to notoroofing.com today. Look at all the different products that they offer. They offer warranties and the free inspections. I would take them up on that, even if you don't intend on replacing your roof or any part of your roof, just to make sure you got that peace of mind and you're good to go. Because with the rainfall that we've had over the last couple of days, the storm damage from last week, you don't know until it's too late. And then all of a sudden, you've got water coming through the house. The wife is upset. Kids aren't happy, and that means you're in for it. Noto Roofing, N-O-T-O, notoroofing.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
So later this week, the American Conference Tournament will get started at Legacy. UAB, they get a big win yesterday against East Carolina, 90-83. The Blazers were down by 3 at the half. They were 10 behind midway through the second half, but the Green and Gold shot 62% in the second half. And they outscored East Carolina 21-6 in the final 6 minutes of the game. Chance Westry, 22 points, 11 assists. Daniel Rivera had 22 points. So the Blazers finished the year 20-11, 11-7 in the American. It's the 6th consecutive 20-win season for Andy Kennedy at UAB. That's the most ever in UAB basketball history. And I want to do some double checking, but some folks on social media, they had posted that the 6 consecutive 20-win seasons by Andy Kennedy, that has never been done in the history of Alabama or Auburn basketball. So if that's the case,
I believe that
UAB has done something in basketball that neither Alabama or Auburn has done, having 6 consecutive 20-win seasons.
Yeah, and you add that, and I brought it up earlier, what he was able to do at Ole Miss. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then would have been 10 with a 19-win season, but 9 plus the 6 at UAB, 20-plus win seasons. That gives him 15. Pretty impressive. You just look to a coach that, then I go back to Cincinnati, you can add another one. So that would actually be 10 20-plus win seasons in addition to the 6 at UAB. So 16 overall.
Wow. That's
in his coaching span?
Yeah, Gene Bartow had 11 20-win seasons at UAB. Obviously, they weren't in a row. But
that's out of, 19 years of coaching?
Very impressed
Ooh.
with what Andy's been able to do on the south side at his alma mater. So UAB, they are the 4th seed. They're going to play at noon on Friday. They will either play Tulane, Memphis, or Charlotte. UAB beat all 3 of those teams at one point during the season. So,
do you have a pick there?
Out of those 3,
yeah,
who's going to make it?
Well,
I'll be honest with you.
Who would you rather see UAB faced off with?
Just because of history, I just don't want to see Memphis.
Yeah.
They just got talent, man. But it's like watching Auburn. You look at Auburn, you go, that's talent, but for whatever reason, it just is not meshed together. When you look at Memphis and those long athletes, man, just wonder how in the world is Memphis not performing.
And Tulane is a team that you split with in the regular season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Tulane won here in Birmingham. UAB won in New Orleans. Memphis, they split. It's the same thing. You lost at Bartow, but you beat them like a drum there in Memphis. And then you just beat Charlotte last week in Charlotte.
I hope they make a run. That'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So it all gets started Wednesday. The first game of the day at Legacy in the American Conference will be number 9 Tulane taking on number 8 Memphis. And then the night game will be number 10 Temple against number 7 FAU.
800-239-WJOX. Our friend Miles in Mississippi wants to talk about Andy Kennedy. Hey, Miles, how are you?
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well.
You as well.
Andy Kennedy, in my opinion, was not treated rightly at Ole Miss. He has always been an excellent coach. It is hard to win at Ole Miss. Even Chris Beard has had a miserable year, and we know he's a tremendous coach. Andy Kennedy was excellent at Ole Miss. He won about 20 games a year. He went to 2 NCAA tournaments. And I thought the administration did not treat him right. I think he had one kind of rough year toward the end there, and there was no athletic director in place, so there was a vacuum, and it led to his termination. But he could great, but I also think that Coach Kennedy could still be at Ole Miss and would be making some more NCAA tournaments.
The season you're talking about, Miles, it was the season, I guess, he decided to leave when they went 11-16.
Right.
But prior to that, he did not have one losing season.
No, the dude can coach. Another thing, and I want to get y'all's take on this, the Sports Broadcasting Act, the revision to it that's being tossed around in Congress right now. I don't know if you've read it, but one thing that came out last Friday of the big meeting was that in this revision of the Sports Broadcasting Act, there would be a guarantee that schools would make more money when they pool their resources. Now, here's my question. How are they going to guarantee that? Are they insinuating that that Congress is going to use taxpayer dollars?
It's rather confusing. Yeah, it's rather confusing, Miles, because when you do read the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1965, it is going to ultimately lead to the NFL because of the adjustments that they want to make. The NFL wants to have Friday and Saturday packages all throughout the year. I mean, they want to be able to play football Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and Monday. So the whole weekend and then taking it through Monday. That's what the NFL would love to have happen. And because they're opening up the negotiating window for all the other media folks, they want to get to a streamer. They know that Netflix will pay big money. Amazon's already paying big money for the Thursday night package. So they need an adjustment because these streamers would love to have a Friday night NFL game. They would love to have that. And so the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, that was enacted so you would not mess with high school and college football. That was the idea. Well, the NFL is now so much bigger business than it was back in 1961 that you would think that potentially that is going to be in the NFL's favor. Now, to the other point that you brought up, Cody Campbell is the one that is bankrolling the idea of the potential of them pooling all their resources for a media rights deal so that conferences like the Big 12 or the ACC, that they would get as much money as the Big Ten and the SEC. And you and I both know, no way, shape, or form that Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey and the presidents of the Big Ten and the SEC are going to agree to that. Why should they? Their job is not to prop up these other conferences. Their job is to make as much money as they possibly can for their member schools.
And you're exactly right. I could not say it better. And the silliest thing is the thought that these media companies are going to pay more money for what is essentially a bundled package of what they're already paying for.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Okay, there's only a certain way you can rework things to make them more valuable. I mean, you could take the 30 most valuable teams in the country and put them together, and they may fork over dough for that, but they're not just going to pay more money for what they're already getting.
Yep. It's startling, but I do not believe that federal money I think the feds could potentially get involved because of the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 and potentially make some adjustments there. But as far as the pooling of the rights, no way, shape, or form that is ever going to go anywhere in regards to trying to cut the nose to spite the face of the Big Ten or the SEC.
Right. And what did you start to say about federal tax? You said you don't think that's using federal tax.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to come anywhere near it. I don't think that's going to be involved. Yeah.
Well, that's a relief because that would be just sleazy sounding, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's no question.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Thank you,
have
Miles.
a good one. Oh, and I never talked to you after the hockey goal. That was outstanding. And as I've once heard someone say, Canada's a lot like America, except it sucks.
Very well put. Thank you, Miles.
Thank y'all.
Always great to hear from Miles. When we come back, we'll do some Pat Ponders as we get closer to the finish line on this Reaction Monday on Jocks.
Well, Big Whiskey's is the place to catch all the tournament games. They offer different food and drink with plenty of big screens. They have a full menu with something to please everyone, and they're the most extensive bar in town. The outdoor patio and game area is great for families, and you can go and check all the tournament action. So go see them. Big Whiskey's in the Stadium Trace Village in Hoover and off of 280 now as well.
All right, let's get to some Pat Ponders to start your week off on the right foot or the wrong foot, depending on how you answer. This is Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
All right, question number one, just really plain and simple. Give me one team this week at the SEC tournament that is your sleeper to win it all.
Ooh. Real deep sleeper would be Oklahoma, but I would say Tennessee, just because of the way they play defense. And they're there. They're going to be represented well. I'll go Tennessee.
Vanderbilt.
There you go.
It's a good one.
Hometown team.
Hometown team. Give me Vandy.
Yeah, they're a good basketball
I think
team.
they're dangerous. Depends on where they're put in the tournament, but
yeah,
that's a team that
that's a good one.
Get the Sweet 16.
Yeah, see, those
Don't say Alabama.
No, it's they're a dark horse, Pat. No one's giving them a chance. I'm just kidding. They don't have a chance. Nobody does. It's
Arkansas?
Florida's going to kill everybody. I would probably lean Vanderbilt. If I knew Nate Ament was going to be back and like 100% good to go, I like the Tennessee pick, but I'll roll with Vandy at home. They're playing good ball right now.
Okay. Question number 2. It's presumed that Todd Golden will win SEC Basketball Coach of the Year. Who would be number 2 on your ballot if you voted for SEC Coach of the Year?
I go Mark Byington from Vanderbilt, just what he's been able to do in his first 2 years and taking over after what they had done in years prior. I think Bucky should certainly be a candidate, but I'll go Byington.
Yeah, I think he's the right answer. I would go Mark Byington, but to throw another name in there, Bucky would certainly deserve consideration. Honestly, I know that at a certain point you stop kind of getting credit for things when you have success, and that's how it works. I think Nate Oates would be deserving of being at least in the top 3 because coming into the year, not that we didn't think they'd make the tournament or anything, but to be the number 2 team in the SEC, you had a lot of unknowns on that roster. You've had a lot of injuries to overcome this year. I would put his name in the hat as well.
I don't know if it's Birmingham biased, but I'd probably give it to Bucky.
Okay.
Mike White would be another one at Georgia.
Yeah, I think they were projected to finish like 12th or 13th or something in the conference. It's a good one.
Question number 3. With Tua Tagovailoa's released, announced by Miami, 4 veteran quarterbacks will be available when free agency opens at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Which of these 4 will ultimately wind up on the best NFL roster?
Not Tua.
Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, or Tua? Which
Kirk
one
Cousins.
of those 4 will end up on the best roster?
Kirk Cousins, because I think, and I know I wanted this for Tua, I could really see him going back to Minnesota because him and Kevin O'Connell obviously have a great relationship. You know, maybe he'd be a little frustrated by the way things ended there, but I think that'd be a great spot for him because J.J. McCarthy's not good. And unless he makes a big jump this year, Kirk could go in there, run the offense very well. So, yeah, I think Kirk. I think he's a Viking.
Yeah, I'd say Kirk too from that list.
I don't think you have to worry about the intangibles either. You know what you're getting with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
The guys like him. He's, you know, all that stuff would be good. I think in terms of who ends up on the worst spot, I do think Geno's. Who knows what's going to happen with that guy?
Yeah, and with Kyler Murray, I just think, where's his heart? Where's his head this week?
Some people think he might be a Steeler. That'd be
That would be so. I know Tomlin's not there anymore, but that would just be so anti.
It would.
Pittsburgh ever.
It would.
Yeah.
Running around out there, warm-ups with his little coconut bra tracking thing.
It would be interesting, though, because, I mean, we joked, like, oh, well, what if he goes to the Dolphins and Tua goes to the Cardinals? Like, where's he going to go now? He might be a Jet. Ugh.
See, that would be a good place for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York media would love him.
Like, didn't he play Call of Duty? He could pretend he's a Jet.
Yeah.
Just fly around. Hey. I don't know. I'm not real big on Kyler Murray, in case you guys have picked up on that.
Really? I couldn't
Here in the last 3 weeks.
We'll get you a jersey. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're a Steelers fan, right? Or you used to be. Put it right next to your Aaron Rodgers jersey.
Yes.
All right, question number 4. Tonight in Houston, Team USA will take on Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. The Americans are a 3.5-run favorite with a game run total of 11.5. If you were betting tonight's game, what would you take?
What was the total?
11.5. USA is a 3.5-run favorite.
I'm going 3.5 US. I'll take that.
So you think they will cover?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, U.S. is 1-3 all time against Mexico.
I'd go 3.5, and I guess it depends on how long Skeens goes. But I'm like, if he wanted to go in there and throw 5 innings, they might not score a run. So yeah, I'll take the 3.5 for USA.
What was the line? The over/under?
11.5.
I'd take the under.
I would take the under too.
With Skeens.
I think the
Not a bad
final score, I'll give you the final score. United States 8, Mexico 3.
Okay, I was gonna go 9-4.
So
I
under,
like that.
and then United States is covering the 3.5.
There you go.
Well, I mean, Skeens will look up in the second inning and go, "Man, I have 2 runs on the board already. I don't know what this is like."
That was crazy on Friday how they were able to come back and cover late.
Well, then you had Skubal, first pitch of the game, he gives up a home run to Great Britain. First pitch.
Do you like that he wants to pitch again, Molly, or selfishly as a Tigers fan, do you want him to?
Hey, if he's pitching for the country, then he can. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Mm-hmm.
See?
That's good.
He's already told me that if something happens to Aaron Judge, he is coming on the air and he is proclaiming that the WBC should be banned. Should never be played again. That's the stupidest thing in the world. If Aaron Judge gets hurt.
We start off on the road anyway, so.
Didn't you say that?
I didn't say that.
Conrad.
I said I would be very upset if he got hurt. He has a bad track record of injuries.
But at least you have the consolation of knowing that he was representing our great country.
I agree. I'd rather him do that than stubbing his toe in Dodger Stadium like he did 2 years ago and being out for 6 months.
I'm going to be really upset if Acuna gets hurt playing for Venezuela.
You know, those Latin American teams, there is no love loss. I mean, if you watch them, I mean, Acuna, I think, played in the Caribbean World Series.
Notice I didn't say Ozzy Albies. What?
Didn't you? I mean, he always plays
Yeah.
in the Caribbean World Series with all those island nations. And it gets heated. It gets hot. And based on watching the games from Puerto Rico and obviously get a load of some of the highlights from today's game with Tatis, I think drove in 6 runs in 4 innings. I mean,
He's good, man.
they're fiery.
Yes, they are. They're good at baseball.
Outstanding.
They're really good at baseball.
All right, final question comes courtesy of BB, and this is what she has in parentheses. She goes, "This is for Landrum." So here we go. Buckle up. Why are you closing your eyes?
In prayer. All right, go ahead.
In India, an underwear vending machine was installed at the Delhi metro station.
You said underwear in Delhi, but Delhi.
Yes, like the yes. Not like a deli at the grocery
Yeah.
store.
We got a foot long with cheese and those whitey tighties. I'll take a pair of those.
Some users have suggested expanding the concept to include sanitary products, sewing kits, tissues, and other daily necessities for travelers.
Is a sewing kit a daily necessity?
Yeah.
You never know.
Almost needed one this weekend.
Okay.
Top button.
Just like it's customary to have like a jack in your car, although you don't need it every day, Conrad,
Yeah.
you may have a flat tire that you might have to use.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So same with the sewing kit.
I also don't know how to sew.
More experiences that you have in life, Conrad, you will start packing a little more of everything everywhere you go.
Growing up doing dance competitions, I always kept a sewing kit on me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. All right, so here's the ultimate question. What do you think of an underwear vending machine, and can you think of another type of vending service that would be popular for travelers?
Yes. Underwear is great. I think any kind of toiletry,
Mm-hmm.
deodorant,
Toothbrush.
toothbrush,
Mhm.
that's a good one.
Yeah, little
Underwear
travel
is good.
shampoos, yeah.
I went to a wedding in California one time and realized when I got there, I'd packed everything except for underwear.
Well, and see, that's what I thought it was for. Like in the case you forget your undergarments,
Yep.
go to the vending machine and get you some.
Hand sanitizer, wet wipes,
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff. You know, at the bowling alley, they have a vending machine, and it's not offering tidy whities, but socks,
Mhm.
different kinds of socks,
Oh, that's convenient.
conditioners, rosins, tape.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Does.
I think it's a good idea. You never know when you're going to see. That's something, I guess, like the sewing kit. Like, you don't need it, but then when you really need it sometimes, because, you know,
Yeah.
stuff happens. Like, it would be very beneficial to have a backup plan.
There's been a time where everybody in this room has wished we had one of those vending machines.
Yeah,
like
even
they
as
have
an
in New
adult, it
Delhi.
happens every now and then, and you just, you like to know that someone's
Yep.
there got your back.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Be like, is it Danny Hurley? Does he take the washing machine? Does he still take the washing machine on the road
Oh, I forgot about that.
where he doesn't have to change underwear?
Yeah. You can't tell me that in one of those tirades, like accidentally one time. You can't tell me at least once.
A shout turns into a.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm with you.
That is today's Pat Ponders each and every day here on Three Man Front.
We will continue the latest out of the NFL and a lot of great responses on the text line. We continue on Jocks. Three-man front as we roll on this Monday. We got World Baseball Classic coming up tonight. United States versus Mexico. And that brings us to Prize Picks. And we're on a little bit of a heater right now. We won with our Prize Picks on Friday. A chance to cash in. If you've never done so, join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks really simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. You get the picks right, you could cash in. We will go World Baseball Classic, as I mentioned. Paul Skeens on the bump for the United States. Right now, you're getting a deal from our friends at Prize Picks. 2.5 strikeouts for Paul Skeens versus Mexico. More or less, I think this is easy, but I'll let the group chime in.
Yeah, we're going more. Scuba went 3 innings the other night, so Skeens, I would think, could go at least 3. He might strike out the whole side.
Molly
in the first
nods
inning.
yes. Pat? Pat?
I'm all in.
Pat's jaded because every time he plays the Cardinals, he poo-poos in his pants, and so now
Just so you know, you're getting a morning or a Monday discount from our friends right now because originally it was slated at 4.5 Ks. They slashed it in half, and it's now 2.
I would go more. And by the way, Skeens is 0-4 in 6 starts all time against
there
the
it
Cardinals.
is. There it is.
How many
Worst
Cardinals
record of
are
any.
playing for Mexico?
To my knowledge, none.
That's good news
Then
for
we're
Paul
good.
Skeens. Good news for us in Prize Picks. The other side, we got to go away from the United States. Can't pick from the same team. Ronald Acuna playing for Venezuela. They take on Nicaragua. 3.5. That's hits, runs batted in, all combined. Does he go more or does he go less than the 3.5?
See, my problem is he's hitting 143 in the WBC, but it feels like if you go less, like he could do that in one swing. Let's go more. We'll go more for Acuna.
All right.
Big game coming up.
If both of those players go more than their projected total, we're a winner. You can be a winner as well. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX, $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX to get the $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Well, just a reminder that flu season is still hanging around and pollen season is coming, so make your home healthier with Train's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles that cause allergy and virus. It's 100 times more effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. So go and find a dealer near you at train.com.
It'll be interesting tomorrow to hear from Kalen DeBoer. He is meeting with the media at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be day 2 of spring drills for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They were on the practice field yesterday at 4:15. Tomorrow morning, it will be an early morning session. Well, not early morning. Maybe for Conrad, 'cause he sleeps late. But it's 9:15 a.m. That is the practice time for Alabama, as Kalen DeBoer will then meet with the media after practice. Then on Thursday, Coach Grubb will get his opportunity to meet with the media. It'll be interesting to hear how Coach Grubb thinks the running game is.
Feels like those questions
along.
might be a little bit different than a year ago this time.
Think so?
Yeah.
Probably so.
See, Pat's a liar. He just gave it up. Jig is up.
What?
He said I sleep late. I'm up here at 6 a.m. doing a radio show every day.
Sounds like you're asleep when you're doing the show.
Woo! I got zingers.
Kind of set myself up for that one.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. At halftime of the Alabama-Auburn game the other night, the Iron Bowl trophy was given to the University of Alabama, and representing the University of Alabama was Bray Hubbard. I was waiting for you to say something about your jersey.
Yeah, no, he's a great
MVP
player.
of last year's team.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, Zabian Brown, Michael Carroll, William Sanders, and Dejon Lee.
No Ryan Coleman Williams. In Coleman Coliseum, no Ryan Coleman Williams.
No Lorcan Quinn?
No, Lorcan Quinn, not yet. By the way, the 90 jersey is on its way for our office.
Oh, did you get one? That's awesome.
Wait, what did you roll your eyes at me for?
No, I didn't. I just looked up at you.
She's not a fan of Irish.
That's what I gathered. That's why I asked her.
I did see that Caden Proctor was at the game as well.
He was.
So
Mm-hmm.
taking it in one last time.
Yep.
What?
He,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
it's just funny. He thought that before he transferred to Iowa.
Yeah, yes, correct. I'm sure he's got the. He went to the Iowa-Nebraska game afterwards. Yeah.
That was so fascinating when he was at that Iowa basketball game. That was the infamous interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's when he admitted to them tampering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started reaching out to me, mid-season.
And
Yeah.
then what was it? He transferred back, and then they didn't have like a parking spot for him or something like that. Or
Yeah.
No, Iowa didn't even give him a parking pass.
They gave
Yeah.
him, and all the guys in the weight room were mean to him. They gave him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
I think he also said that he never heard the word championship mentioned once. So
well, that's Iowa football for you.
I just want to add that in.
I will say this. They did win the Joe Moore Award this year.
That's That's a great point.
I mean, they did.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe
Actually,
that's
it
why
might-
they were like, why do we want this guy? He's a liability.
It might have been great for him to go there for a year and then go back to Alabama. He might have learned something.
yeah. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. We'll be live at Social Taco Tuesday. Join us beginning at 10 o'clock. We'll be there until 2.
You know that whole vending machine thing?
You got an idea? We
Yes.
can make some money.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to say it on the air, but I think it's a great idea. And it involves college football and games this fall.
Depends.
Depends who you're talking about. All of that and more. Join us at Social Taco. Have a wonderful Monday. God is great.